So tonight I was going to talk about loneliness with you. What is loneliness? So alone apparently derives from all one. So alone, to be all one. So it's quite interesting that those two words are connected, all one and alone. And then we've got loneliness. Loneliness. I think it's one of humanity's fundamental fears of being alone, of not being part of a group, of being abandoned and being alone and having to do things for yourself. Like all by yourself, not having someone to talk to or be intimate with. I think a lot of people maintain relationships, hold on to relationships, stay in relationships that are abusive, stay close to family that don't treat them well, simply because they don't want to be alone. They're afraid of being alone. So to me, loneliness comes from the heart chakra. And there is a natural loneliness that can arise. Like we are communal animals and we do have a tendency to group together. So there can be a natural loneliness that arises. And then there can be this seeking loneliness. So this identity that lives inside of the head and feels like it's someone separate and it's got an experience and it's its life, and that person doesn't want to be alone. And that person is afraid of being alone. But it's not always conscious that that's what it's afraid of. What it actually might feel like in seeking and going out into the world is it might feel like great happiness or great joy because you've found someone that completes you and stops you feeling lonely. Like you've got friends, you've got attention, you've got family, you've had a kid. So it actually might feel like joy and ecstasy. But on the other side of it, for that person, the person fears being alone. That if it's alone, basically it won't exist. It doesn't think that, but that's what it's afraid of not existing. That you won't exist. So in a way, you could say loneliness is closely related to the death of self. Because who are you when there's no relationships to other people? Who do you become? Like you've only become someone by being in relationship to other things, other people. If you'd never spoken human and if you'd never had relationships before, more than likely the identity wouldn't arise. Like it comes from being in relationship. You are someone in relationship to them, and then you tell them stories about you and they tell you stories about them. And there's a belief that that's who you are. And that person, that false identity, always feels like it's missing something, because it is, because that's not who you truly are. That's a lie. So there's always the stone in the shoe, feeling like there must be something else. So what else is there? All one. So beyond that person that feels lonely, that's trying to fill that hole, that's trying to hold on to relationships or hold on to events or hold on to scenarios or to live in this story of itself in order to not be naked and vulnerable and here. So what else is there? There is something beyond that. There is something which is you, that's got nothing to do with you having relationships or friendships or intimacy. There's something beyond the end of loneliness happening in time, and that's happening right here. It's that which is experiencing now. It's the most closest sense of being. It's so intimate and alive and vital and free. It's right here. In this, there is no loneliness. In this, everything is touching you. Everything is you. There is no separation from it. So your refuge in time, your refuge in the other person, your refuge in friendships, in relationships, is a false refuge. It's something that keeps you seeking and keeps you as an identity in time. Your refuge is this moment, is the intimacy of what's happening right here, the feeling of the bum on the seat, the back on the chair, the breeze, the coolness of the air, your organs,